Today I have for you 4 super easy but very festive and beautiful fall decor. So let's get started. Alright, so a few weeks ago, my husband and I had our fence redone. So now we have a white PVC fence, and we removed tons and tons of panels that had these boards on them. And they're old, they are weathered, they are perfect. Today we're going to use another one of these, possibly 2. I'm not quite sure, but let's get started. So for my first cut, I am going to cut probably about maybe 18 inches long, give or take. It doesn't matter how long, but just for purposes of giving you a measurement, I would say it's about 18 inches long or so. So I'm going to use my miter saw to cut it, and then I am going to cut the remainder into 3 equal size boards for another DIY. But for this one, I'm just going to use this one here. Once I had the board cut to the size that I wanted, I'm just going to sand it down because it was outside and it was dirty and it had just some green, kind of like mossy like thing. Anyways, I sanded it down, both the front and the back and the sides, and I used a 150 grit sandpaper. So now I'm going to take a couple of these are just pieces of painter sticks. These are like the 25-gallon ones. I just cut 2-inch pieces, and I'm going to give them 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and then I'm just going to place them right here towards the top. I want this to look like a little barn. It's going to be like a little fall barn kind of sign. Because the fence board already had that kind of like angled cut on the top, it kind of had a little bit more of a barn kind of style, so I left it as is. Once I secured it using my brad nailer, now I'm going to take this Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the country gray, and I'm just going to start making it look like little shutters. So I'm just going to distress the edges and then also crisscross it in the center, again just making it look like little shutters on top of the barn.
It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep 'cause I'm not tired.
Using my Cricut, I cut out a stencil that says "Give Thanks," and the give is going to be horizontal, and then the thanks is going to be vertically on the right side of the sign. And I am going to stencil it using a makeup wedge sponge as well as Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. If you have an Instagram account, I would love to connect with you as well. I do post daily, multiple times a day, different behind the things and just information that I not necessarily post here on my channel. So if you have an account, I do have my link down below. Check it out when you're done watching. Now it's time to add a little bit of florals to the bottom of it. I'm going to take this Hobby Lobby flower. It's kind of like a burnt orange / yellow. It's a beautiful fall color. And I'm going to staple it to the bottom. Now I stapled it twice. I am going to remove one of them just to add some of the leaves that came with it. And then I'll staple it again. I just decided that it needed a little bit of that greenery there to add some color. I'm going to take this, I believe is Dollar Tree ribbon, and I'm going to make a multiple loop bow. Very simple, just loop it around several times. I'm going to tie it with a piece of the same ribbon in the center, and then I'm going to cut off the excess little legs there, and that way we'll have it nicely neat. I'm going to take some of that ribbon left over, and I'm just going to staple it in the back as a loop, and that'll be where we hang it. I hot glued the bow, and then I'm going to hot glue this white foam pumpkin, and that's it. I told you it was easy. This was so much fun. I love using this board from the fence. It was already weathered, and all it needed was a little bit of details, and I think it turned out stunning.
I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside, and I kind of feel like calling, but it's too late now. I just miss you.
For this next DIY, I am going to use the 3 equally sized cut pieces of that same fence board that I mentioned earlier. And again, I'm just going to sand them down smoothly, remove a lot of the dirt, and just getting them nice and ready for decor. One of the boards actually was kind of cracked and I didn't want it to keep cracking. So I'm just going to take this leftover piece of painter stick and I'm going to wood glue it as well as brad nail it in place. This is going to keep it from just cracking even more. Once I had it done, I am going to place the sawtooth hooks on each one because I want this to be a sign that has 3 separate boards where you can hang as close or as separate as you would like. Using my Cricut, I cut out the stencil of a pumpkin and I'm just going to place it on the bottom, kind of towards the right side of the frame, or not the frame, the sign. And as you can tell, all the boards, I placed them together really, really close to each other. Now I'm just going to start stenciling. Oh, I also cut a stencil that says Hello Pumpkin. That was on the Cricut Design Space. I'm using Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. I'm also going to use, I think it's called Venetian Yellow milk paint for the pumpkin portion. And I am using a chalk paint brush that I love, love, love. If you are looking for a good chalk paint brush, this is a really good one. It's a Tutler and Tatum. I do have them on my Amazon store, which a lot of the supplies, paints, and tools that I use, I do have on my Amazon store. And I always have it linked down in the description box if you want to take a look. So here's that yellow that I was talking about. It lightened it up because I did use the same brush with the white paint. But we're all done. Again, another super easy one. So simple and yet so festive and so rustic. I love it.
I saw you from across the room. When our eyes met, I never knew that I could feel this way. And it's kind
For
of
this next DIY, I'm going to take this thrifted kind of like broom, scarecrow broom. I don't know. It was a little spooky and creepy. I did not like this doll. So I was happy to get rid of it. I'm also going to get rid of the little handle because it was broken and just out of control and it was just not working out. Now I'm going to take and I'm just going to dry brush the entire thing, just adding as much as paint as I want, but I do want some of the wicker kind of bamboo color to peek through. So I am going to, I am using a chippy brush and Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and I'm just going to dry brush the entire thing, including the handle. Now it's time to add some florals. Before we do that, I am going to take about an inch square thick floral foam from the Dollar Tree. And I'm also going to take some jute twine. I loop the end of the jute twine, one of the ends, and that way I can like just thread it like you can see there and then tighten it really, really tight and then just tie it. This works out really well if you want to tighten something. So there's a little tip for you. Once I have it tightened, I do cut off the excess jute twine and then it's time to add some florals. I'm again going to use some of those florals from Hobby Lobby. This is a little bit more of a darker burnt orange kind of burgundy color. I am going to add some hot glue and just stick it right there in the center. And then I added some of the green leaves that it came with the florals. I'm just going to stick them one in each side again just to add some fullness as well as that beautiful green color. It's like the hunter green. Take this burlap ribbon from burlapfabric.com. I'm going to make a very simple bow. I basically just loop it and then scrunch it in the middle and then tie it. It's just the easiest way I know how to make a bow. I've made them this way for a long, long time and it's just really quick and easy. Tie it in the middle with some jute twine, cut the excess jute twine, and then it's time to hot glue it to the bottom of the arrangement. Oh, I did dovetail the ends just to make it look a little shorter and also just cute. Again, I'm just going to hot glue it towards the bottom left corner of the arrangement. And then I decided to add this pumpkin. It's a kind of faux leather looking kind of pumpkin. I used one of the leftover wired picks that I had and I just stuck it right underneath, and then I'm going to hot glue it as well as just stick it right there into the foam just on the top left corner of the arrangement. I think it looks so cute. And then it's time to just fill in some of the empty spaces towards the top because you can still see some of that green foam. So I'm going to take some of these Dollar Tree, they're like burnt orange color, and just stick them through. And that's it. I mean, I think it turned out super cute. Oh, I did add a couple of these Target Dollar Spot picks just on the top because it felt like it needed something right there. So I stuck it right there and we are done. So it's an easy flip of this broom. I love the new look. I absolutely love that it has that bright, fresh fall look. For this next DIY, I am going to take a piece of just cardboard from I think it's like an Amazon box. And I'm going to freehand a little pumpkin here. And then I'm going to cut it using my X-Acto knife. This is so that we're going to start to create a little banner that can be hung on a fireplace or placed on a mantle or anywhere you would want, like maybe a console table. So we're going to start with these little pumpkins that I'm just going to freehand and cut from cardboard. And then I'm going to use the first one I cut and trace for a second and a third one. That way we'll have a total of 3. Then it's time to paint them. I'm going to use this yellow paint. It's by Full Card. It's a chalk one. I can't remember the color, but if I do remember, I'll have it down below. I'm going to paint the pumpkin portion of it with this yellow on all 3 of them. And then I'm going to use some brown latex paint that I had on hand to paint the stem, as well as add some shadowing and some details to make them look a little bit more like pumpkins. I want to take a quick minute here and invite you to take a look at a link that I have down below regarding memberships for my channel. If you're not familiar with it, there is a lot more information there. You get special perks, and I would love to connect with you even more. So check it out. It is linked down below. This thankful, grateful, and blessed little wooden words came, I believe it was from Dollar Tree, and I got a couple of the little packets. I'm just going to dry brush some white paint on them. Although they look great with the wood tone, I just wanted them to be a little bit more on the lighter side because everything else is going to be darker colors. Then it's time to put everything together. So I'm going to take some thicker jute twine and I'm going to start hot gluing in a pattern. So I'm going to put a pumpkin, then the thankful, then it's going to be a faux leather leaf from Hobby Lobby, then the blessed, then another pumpkin. You get the idea, right? So I'm doing it backwards here because I just want to be able to hot glue and know where I'm placing it, but just kind of turn it around as you need if you're going to recreate something like this, just leaving enough space in between that kind of match each other. So I was leaving between 3.5 to 4 inches in between decor. And then once we're done with this one, we're done for today. I think this turned out so stinking cute. These are just very inexpensive items, so easy to make, and really, you can use anything. It doesn't even have to be like hand-drawn pumpkins. It can be anything you want. I love it. I think it will look great in any tabletop or even hung on a mantle like a little banner. But this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I always enjoy bringing you guys fresh new ideas that are easy and inexpensive. If you are visiting for the first time, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I am going to have a playlist here with tons more fall inspiration for you. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.